Hello everybody and welcome to the start of a new season for the VALVIK Marble League. I am Frankie and we're glad to have you back at the Valiant Stadium, packed for what hopes to be a fantastic new season here in the VALVIK Marble League. And we're gonna start off with, of course, the first event of the new season, the Swing Wave. Undulating swings and a big challenge. This is the perfect test for teamwork, and it could not have been a better start to the league. Of course, teams will have 2 runs each, and the objective is to go as far as possible, of course without landing in the catch basin, because that gives you no points. Let's take a look back at demo run from season 1. Of course, the Cue Balls won that event and set the record for the VALVIK Marble League with a brilliant 30. As you can see, they managed to get 3 marbles in the 8 with 1 in the 6. But of course, this leaves a lot of room open for improvement. We could see one of the teams or more of the teams break this record during the event. So, let's get started then with Team Echo and the Carbons for run number 1. And they're off. We already have a stoppage for the Team Echo there, and Carbons have 2 in the 8, 1 in the 7, and 1 in the 5. That is a good run for the Carbons on lane 2. Lane 1, Team Echo, a bit worse than them, but that was a brilliant set of runs for both of the teams there. It could have almost ended in disaster for the Carbons. Unfortunately, Captain Graphite just stopped that second marble, and they both land in the 8 there. And so the Carbons will take the lead with 28. Team Echo in second with 24. Let's move on to run number 2 with the Sailors and the Sushi Squad. Here we go. And they're off. Watch lane 1. Their Sailors are a bit more closely held together there. Ooh, and they have, I believe that is an identical run to the Carbons there. Meanwhile, the Sushi Squad in the lane 2 do lose 1, but they have 2 in the 7 and 1 in the 8. I think that's going to be a worse run than what we've seen from Team Echo so far. Look at that. That first marble from the Sushi Squad, just a little bit too eager there and landed in the 0. That is a 28 for the Sailors. Sushi Squad only 23. They're now in 4th as we move on to the Hammerheads and the Scorperiors. And we're off. Oh, and the Scorperiors are losing on already in the 3. And they lost one as well in the 0. Oh, it's a disaster for the Scorperiors. The run came undone for them. The Hammerheads, nothing too impressive either. They also lost one in the 8 as well. But look at that. From the 3, one of them just stops all their momentum. They lose it and they land in the 3. And then meanwhile, that first marble just lands in the 0 as well. They only have a 6, a 7, and a 3 to the Scorperiors. And the Hammerheads with a 20. They're in 5th and 6th. Currently the bottom 2 right now. Golfbirds and Balls of Zen now. Of course, Golfbirds second in the VALVIK Marble League of Season 1. That's a good start for them. Can they hold it together? No, and neither do the Balls of Zen. They both lose 1. The Balls of Zen do have 8, do have 2 in the 8 and 1 in the 5. But that will not be enough to help, I believe, because we've seen how crucial it is in the previous season. If you lose a marble in the catch basin, it's pretty much game over for you. And so far, 5th and 6th for these 2 teams. As we move on then to the Sky Scouts and the Kitsune Rush. Sky Scouts, of course, 3rd in Season 1. Pretty closely held together there are both of these teams. Kitsune Rush have already lost 1, but the Sky Scouts and the Kitsune Rush managed to both get 2 8s. 2 6s for the Sky Scouts as well. That is going to be a pretty high run there for the Sky Scouts. Meanwhile, the Kitsune Rush lost 1 at the beginning there, and they almost landed in the catch basin, but they just managed to stop there and both land in the 8. The Sky Scouts in 3rd with 28. Kitsune Rush 4th with 27. Cubos and the Atomics now. Cubos, of course, are defending champions and the winners of the Swing Wave in Season 1. What can they do this time? It's definitely not a record-breaking run, but the Atomics there lose 1 at just about. They lose 1 there, and it's in the catch basin. That was a brilliant set of runs for both of them, but then that first marble from the Atomics, just a little bit too eager to finish, but they land in the 0, unfortunately. The Cue Balls, though, that's not a bad run. It's 5th for the Cue Balls with 27. Atomics only in 11th. That's second to last so far, as we entered run 7 with Team Whiteout and the Flamin' Cherries. Of course, the Flamin' Cherries, remember, had a brilliant qualifying as well, getting 2 medals back-to-back. What can they do this time? Oh, but they lose one there. They lose that first marble into the 0. Team Whiteout, they have 2 in the 5, and 1-7 and 1-8. No dropouts for Team Whiteout, but it's still definitely going to be a bit lower than what we've seen so far from the other teams. Yeah, they both get in the 5 there for Team Whiteout, but also, of course, for the Flaming Cherries, one of them does drop in the 0. So Team Whiteout then with 25, they're in 6th. Flaming Cherries with 21, they're only in 10th. As we move on to the last run of the first half between the Coastline Crescents and the Poison Darts, and they're already off. Oh, and the Poison Darts, they're very, very quickly going through these waves. Oh, but they lose one, and they lose 2 as well. Oh, that is a disaster for the Poison Darts there. A bit too eager were both of those marbles there. I believe that is Toxin and their Captain Arrow. Ooh, that came undone really fast. They were way too eager there. It could have been so much better for the Poison Darts, but unfortunately they are going to be in last, and they are with a 15. Coastline Crescents, meanwhile, 27. They're in 5th. So far, after 8 runs, the Sailors and the Carbons are tied for 1st. Sky Scouts and Kitsune Rush run out of the top 4, but we still have ties for 5th and for 11. You have to remember though, there's still 8 more runs to go. Starting off now with the Carbons and Team Echo. Can the Carbons better their first run? Ooh, and almost. It certainly looks like it. That was a close call for the Carbons there. Team Echo did lose one right at the line there. That was a very close call for Graphite of the Carbons. You can see it's the leading marble there. They almost landed the catch basin, but they're just able to bring it back there. Meanwhile, that second marble almost managed to land in the 8. It's a 29 for the Carbons. They retake the lead for now. As we move on to run 10 with the Sushi Squad and the Sailors. Can the Sailors bounce back? Can they retake the lead? We're off. Oh, and that certainly looks like it. That is definitely a better run from the Sailors there. Nice. I believe, by my calculation, that is a 30. They have equaled the record for the cue balls there. That is not bad. Meanwhile, the Sushi Squad have lost one at the start there, at the first marble. Again, having the same difficulty that they've had on the last run, but this time it's an even worse run for the Sushi Squad. Only 2 7s and a 6. 30 for the Sailors. Sushi Squad with only 20. They're in 9th. Scorpions and the Hammerheads, 2 teams that have had very bad runs in their first attempt. Can they manage to bounce back? It's looking a lot better for the Scorpions now. Can they stop it? Oh, and they managed to just at the line there. That first marble getting in the 8. The Hammerheads again lost another marble, but it's a wonderful recovery there for the Scorpions. Just at the line there, I believe that is Jab, who was able to stop it just in time and land in the 8. That is 28 for the Scorpions. They bounce all the way up to 4th. Hammerheads in 14th. Balls of Zen and the Golfbirds now. And they're off. The Balls of Zen had some difficulty there at the front. They lose 2, they lose 1 as well, but they managed to keep 2 in the 8. The Golfbirds there actually have a better run than the Balls of Zen because they have 1 in the 7. So they're gonna have a run that's at least 1 point higher than the Balls of Zen, which could matter all that more in the end. But that is a very composed run from both of these teams. They kept it together fairly well. Golfbirds in 4th with 28, Balls of Zen in 6th with 27. They both improved their runs. Sky Scouts and the Kitsune Rush now. And they're off. That's looking very good from the Sky Scouts there. Oh, they get 1, 2, and then 3, and that's a 7 as well for the Sky Scouts. I believe that is in fact a new record. And it is 31. The Sky Scouts have broken the record for the Swing Wave. Talk about a way to start off the season. That is not bad at all from the Sky Scouts. Meanwhile, the Kitsune Rush have some difficulty there, and I believe they've lost one as well. Oh, and they have as well. But that is a brilliant run from the Sky Scouts. Talk about a hot start to the season. They take the lead for now with 31. Kitsune Rush only in 7th. Atomics and Q-Balls now. Can the Q-Balls bounce back? Can they take the record back from the Sky Scouts? Oh, and it's looking very difficult for them so far. They already lose 1 in the 4. Meanwhile, the Atomics, they get 2 in the 8. I think that's a very good recovery there for the Atomics. Meanwhile, the Q-Balls can only get a 6, a 7, an 8, and a 4 as well. They had some difficulty there at the start. That Marble 9 ball there jumped behind 11 ball. That pretty much destroyed the momentum of 12 ball behind, who landed in the 4. But that is still 4th place for the Atomics, and the Q-Balls only in 7th. They do not manage to improve their run as we move on to the second to last run with the Flaming Cherries and Team Whiteout. And they're off. Or the Flaming Cherries lose one again. I believe that is the same run that they've had in their first attempt. Meanwhile, Team Whiteout also lose one as well. It's all coming undone for the Flaming Cherries and Team Whiteout there. It could have been so much better for the Flaming Cherries, but unfortunately it is not enough. But it means that the Sky Scouts are guaranteed to medal. They can no worse than third as we move on to the last one, the Poison Darts and the Coastline Crescents. Can the Poison Darts recover? No, they cannot. In fact, both the Poison Darts and the Coastline Crescents have the same run, which means that the Sky Scouts will win the inaugural event of Season 2. Unfortunate for the Poison Darts, but they lose one, as do the Coastline Crescents as well. But it's not going to be a good enough run for this team. And it is 15th for the Poison Darts, Coastline Crescents in 9th. But that's how it's going to remain. The Sky Scouts will win the inaugural event, with the Sailors in 2nd and the Carbons rounding off the podium. Atomics, great debut. They finish in 4th, highest of all the new teams. Congratulations to our podium finishers. Carbons, Sailors, and our gold medalists, the Sky Scouts. The Sky Scouts bring the heat to the VALVIK Marble League Season 2 by winning the first event in the most brilliant of fashion. And that's it for Event 1 of Season 2. The Sky Scouts have taken the lead and will enter Event 2 5 points ahead of the Sailors, with the Carbons in 3rd. But that's it from us from the Swingway. Coming up next, it's the Funnel Endurance. We hope to see you there. Goodbye.